What is up, my brothers and sisters? It's your boy Juice again. Um, Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful day. I told somebody not too long ago that the weather would be changing, and well, it has. It's starting to actually get cooler here in Texas, at least where I'm at. For some reason, like up north, which I'm pretty sure I got a good reason, and I'm about to show you. But look at these gravity waves. Watch this. Look how it looks like ripples. Watch. Let it load up real quick and then bam! See, it's not rain because it doesn't really go anywhere. See what I'm saying? When they're fully blossomed like this, you can really see the texture and what it's trying to do. And it looks like it's poofing out a bunch of heat or like steam or something. But it's the gyrations. I'm always saying that there's like this energy in the air. There's a gyration. Everything has like a frequency and a how do you say, a reverberation to them. In other words, it's like boo 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 boo, right? Like back and forth, like sound bouncing off the walls. And when you look at this is pretty much what this looks like. If it was let's say like some subwoofers, right? Um, like when somebody's like bassing out, like you go like, and they're like, "Want to check out my subs," right? And you go and they like open the trunk and then they like put on some song. I don't care if it's disco, rock, hip hop, whatever it may be, country music, regardless, the bass drum in any music is like boom, tom tom boom, right? And then like in hip hop, it's like right? But when you do, you see that speaker go like almost it's vibrating. Bass is not really a sound. It is a sound, but it's more of a feeling. You feel bass more than you hear bass. Does that make sense? So when it comes to earthquakes and stuff like that, they put on an infrasonic frequency, which you cannot hear because it is out of the level of human perception as far as hearing. I always use this example. It's like a dog whistle, right? You have a dog whistle and you're like blowing in it, and right, and you're blowing in as hard as you can. You're like, I can't hear nothing, right? Now, some people can hear a little bit, but for most people, it's just like, right, and nothing's happening. But to the dog, he's like, oh, right. He has a reaction to it, right? Like this is pretty much with every animal. Now, not too long ago, I was talking about the DU weapons and how it's not man or the government. And somebody was like, I think you should look into DU weapons and lasers and see what it's really about. And it's funny because the first video I came across was a dude, I guess, giving an example of how like they can manipulate the weather too, right? And whoa, see that right there? The top? Oh, that is wild looking. It might be a glitch in the pictures, I suppose. But wow, I've never really seen that before. Let me zoom out and see what happens. Wow, that is wild. Something has happened there. Hold on, let me try to back up on. There we go. Well, yeah, that's quite interesting. I'm sure it's just a glitch, but man, I can't believe I've ever really seen something like that. I mean, I've seen some weird stuff, but you know. Anyways, I completely forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, the whistle and the dog. Um, everything vibrates at a vibrational frequency, and for the longest, and check this out too. See, there's 3 hurricanes over here, or how do you say, typhoons, right? And then look, there's 3 over here. Ta-da! Like magic, looking into a mirror. Anyways, so the first thing I came across when it came to these weapons manipulating the weather was they were like giving an example of how they could possibly do this. And every example I've seen is absolute bullshit. For instance, the first one I came across was how they can make lightning come from the sky. And I guess they're trying to get at like the dew weapons or something. I don't know. I can't quite understand it because I'm like used to knowing how things work correctly, right? So when they start trying to like explain it to me, I always get lost, right? But when I try to explain it to them correctly, they get lost. And I'm like, I don't know. I just work here. I'm not the boss. And every time I give a logical reason or answer, they always change the rules on me or something, right? Like, I'm like, hey, they're like, excuse me. And I'm like, and they're like, well, that's not right. And I'm like, well, it used to be. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is now. So the first example they use is like, it's a rocket and they shoot it off like a bottle rocket into the sky and it's attached to a wire. And bam! Lightning strikes it, right? Wow. And I'm like, didn't Benjamin Franklin give that example in like what, the 1700s with just like a kite and a key? Right? Like, I don't understand, right? Like, he's doing the same thing that like Benjamin Franklin did. And he was like, lightning, right? I'm like, it's a very simple concept. And I'm like, at least I remember that's how things used to be. I don't know how they do it now. Apparently they shoot rockets now. It's got to be like all technical, right? And I'm like, dude, you didn't have to spend a bunch of money on all that. Like, you could have just like went to the dollar store and got a kite, right? And put like your house key on it, flown it up really high up there. And it's almost like a lightning rod, right? Like it's the only piece of metal that it can conduct electricity with, right? And I'm like, yeah, this is like common sense, right? So I'm like, I don't know what that proves. And I don't know. To me, it's like, I don't know. It's just silly, right? I'm like, and what about it, right? Like I said, Benjamin Franklin did this a long time ago. And like, I don't understand what they're trying to get at because I guess they're trying to make it like they can make lightning come down. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's like electricity and it's grounding, right? So they like have like a before picture and after where like natural lightning. And then there's manipulated lightning. Basically, the natural lightning looks natural. It looks like a bunch of like sprawled out like wigglies. And then the unnatural one made by man is just like a straight shot, right? It's almost like a laser beam, right? So, and like I was saying about the sun simulator, for them to imitate the sun and give us the same effect, it would have to be the size of the sun. Perfectly for as far away as it is, not any closer, not any further, as huge as it is, and that's how life exists for us. I don't know what they plan on doing. Maybe they did some, I don't know, very genius, intelligent math to where they can maybe like make half the size of half that size and make it like a tiny satellite, right? With just like one rocket ship at a time. Like if they shot rockets up, I guarantee you, if they'd have to shoot one up every day for like 50 years just to build something similar to our sun, right? Like, I mean, think about it, right? Like, I mean, I don't know the math in that, but I mean, it sounds pretty good to me, right? Like a spaceship every day to space and like every country, not just like America, right? Like sending a rocket every day so they can send a little bit of supplies at a time, which is like what, the size of a toolbox? Man, that's going to take you forever. Yeah, because you got to take into consideration the weight of the rocket, the gas, the fuel, how much force it is pushing down on you as you fly up into the sky, apparently. Because the more force you have going higher, the more fuel you're going to need. The more fuel that you need, the more of a downforce you have on the way up. Yeah, it's called gravity. It sucks, but it's real.